Welcome to another AVConnect University training video. Venue Image Design. The objective today is to demonstrate design options, examine the benefits and disadvantages of design choices, and help you decide what design works best for you. To start, let's look at basic design choices. Looking at this example here, we see a 3D representation of a map. Some things that to note is that we can see that the stage is down at the bottom. There are no seats. We do see the row labels and we do see the section labels. However, it's kept fairly minimal outside of that. Now looking at a different perspective of this venue image, we have it when it's been configured as a part of a venue and seats have been laid on top of it. So that's what we're seeing here. The circles represent the seats. The colors that we see here are the price zones. So that's the other thing to keep in mind. We see that this venue image is colored as an orange tinge to it. And then we have the price zones that are cover the seats, which then cover the venue. We don't want that to clash. We don't want the colors of the zones to blend in. So if you are deciding to use color in your venue image, you want to make sure that it doesn't clash with your zones. So in contrast, we can look at another venue here that's quite similar in its structure, but we see that the venue image itself is not the 3D view, but more of a matte view. We're also seeing that there's a lot of lack of color. This gives a lot more flexibility in the use of your price zones. Now looking at this venue image away from its configuration, we can see some other things as well. We see that the venue name is put into the top corner here. That makes it clear the stage is actually at the top. We also see that there is a little symbol indicating the accessible seats, as well as the color has been shaded here as well. And then staying consistent with our other image too, we see that there's no seats being laid over top of this. The row labels are very clear and the section labels are very clear. So the image is very similar, just a little bit flatter, less color, and some more information added in. Taking a further look at flat versus 3D images. Here's a venue that we have a nice 3D image of. It's a multi-tiered venue, looking out into the seats from the perspective of the stage. This is a nice venue, but it may not work for everybody. And one of the biggest things I want to draw your attention to here is the heavy curves. So here's another example with not as much curving of the sections. And what they've done is kept it matte, but they've broken it out into 3 different sections. So we have the main floor, the dress level, and the upper level broken out into 3 different images almost contained into the one. This is another option instead of layering them into more of a 3D space. So let's look at this further, looking at the difference between curved and straight. So here's an image with a curving of the seats. It's not that much of a curve, but if we go into the application and look at something, for instance, like placing holds, we have a lasso tool, which is a box, but when you grab a large chunk, as we can see here, it doesn't grab all the seats within a particular section because that square is falling outside of the curve. The curve is causing it to miss a couple of seats. Again, it's still really easy to use, so as you can see here that you can just kind of drag and color the seats as well. But it is a little bit more difficult to grab large sections. Whereas if we look back at our other image that has more of the flatter side of the image, we can go and do the same process and select particular seats and large chunks of seats, and we can grab them without a problem. So as you can see here, it's you can grab large chunks of seats with the lasso tool a lot easier. But again, it's still quite easy with the curved seats. It's just a different way of looking at it. So those are some options for you. Really, at the end of the day, it comes down to what works best for your customers and what works best for you. So at this point, I'd like to say thank you and try it yourself.